Hey folks, welcome back to another review with yours truly, Sam Healey. Today we're taking a look at this guy right here, the tank expansion for the Great War that's put out by PSC Games, designed by Richard Borg. Uses the same command and color system that Memoir 44 uses, and Battle Lore and Battle Cry, Command and Colors Ancients. All of these different games use the same basic battle system, and this is the tank expansion for the Great War, which is the World War I version or installment in that Commands and Colors system that Richard Borg designed. So, what we're going to do is I'm going to show you basically what comes in the box and the different rule changes. It doesn't change the basic way that you play the game. So if you want to learn how to play the Great War, you can go back and check out my review of that game that I posted a while ago. But we're just basically going to go over what you get in this box. So let's get down to the table. So in the tank expansion for the Great War from PSC Games, this is a representation of what you're going to get. You're going to get many more of these terrain tiles and terrain effect tiles, but I just wanted to show you the different kinds of things that come in there. For example, there is the bridge or the broken bridge token that can be used. They also have a bogged down token or a ditched token. So bogged down basically is that sometimes, you know, back in World War I, early World War I especially, tanks broke down at the drop of a hat. And so whenever you move one hex for early war scenarios, then you have to roll a die to see if the tank bogs down, and if it does, it has to be recovered, which means you have to give it an order to recover. Then you roll the die, see if it happens, and so forth and so on. If you continually fail to recover a bogged down tank, you can choose to ditch a tank, which is what this does. And basically all this does means that it can't move, it can't battle, it can't do anything, it just sits there. Your opponent can still take it out, but because it's been ditched, it's worth only 1 victory point instead of 2. So that's this token here. Then you also have fortified positions, which is kind of self-explanatory, and then you have more barbed wire on the other side. There are a bunch of different terrain tiles that come in the expansion set, some that you have basically seen before, trench tiles and hills and that type of stuff, but the new ones are waterways. So basically waterways are going to be anything like rivers or canals or streams or something like that, and they are basically, see, there's forests on the other side. So there's different things like that come in the game. Now, you're going to get 6 tanks. You're going to get 2 Mark IV males and 2 Mark IV females for the British. Then you're also going to get 2 German A7Vs, which are the run-of-the-mill for that. Now, the little white markers that you see here are tank silhouette markers, and basically that represents how many hits the tank can take before it can be before it's removed. So basically German tanks are going to be able to take 3 hits, and then the British tanks are going to be able to take 2 before they are knocked out. There are some captured tank markers. Some of the scenarios will use British tanks that have been captured by German forces and are being used against the British, so that's what those are for. Then you're also going to be getting a couple of different player aids. You have one here, the unit summary, one on one side, and then the terrain summary on the other side. And then you're also going to get, of course, your rules and scenario booklet. It's about half and half, actually, almost split right down the middle. This is the first scenario right here, and you can see it's right in the middle of the book. So you're actually getting 21 new scenarios with the expansion, and a good number of rules that go along with it. Additionally, the Germans are going to have the field artillery crews that are included in the game. The field artillery crews have a range of 7, actually. They roll 3 dice at 1 hex away, and then 2 at the following 3 hexes, and then 1 at the 3 hexes beyond those. Your A7Vs have a range of 4. Roll 4 dice, 3, 2, and 1 respectively, the further away they go. And then the Mark IVs over here for the British, they all have a range of 4 as well, and they roll 4 dice, 3, 2, and 1 respectively. Now, rolling to hit a tank is a little bit different. You have to roll either burst symbols or deadly die symbols on the first volley, so to speak, and then for any of those burst symbols or deadly die symbols you roll, you can gather those and re-roll another set. So, and then any burst symbols on that second roll will actually cause hits on the tank. So they are a little bit more difficult to take out than your regular units, but at the same time, anything can happen, right? They are treated as battlefield units, so they have to be ordered and moved and all of that kind of stuff, just like regular any other kind of battlefield unit. The difference with these guys, though, is that every time they take a hit, one of the models is removed, and then once the last model is removed, the artillery gun comes with that last model and is removed as well. So that's that for the Great War tank expansion from PSC Games. This is one of the expansions, like I've said before in other expansion reviews, this is one of the expansions that I really enjoy what it does for the game, because it simply gives you more things, more stuff to play with in your sandbox of the base game. And I really like it when expansions do that. Sometimes expansions give you and try to twist and convolute the rules a little bit too much than they should be. This one doesn't do that. Now, it gives you a hefty amount of new things to consider as far as what the new tanks can do and what the new field artillery can do, and the bogging down rules and the recovery and the rolling, having to roll twice to hit tanks and all of this kind of stuff. It gives you a hefty portion of new things to consider, but it doesn't change how the game is played at all, and that's what I really enjoy about it. I think the models of the tanks, man, they are chunky and sturdy. They don't feel like they're going to be broken anytime soon. They almost feel like they're die-cast, metal. So that's a really cool thing. I don't think they are, but they really feel like it. They have a good bit amount of weight to them. They don't feel like they're going to break or be flimsy or anything like that. So really cool on that. Now, the field artillery models are very well detailed, but they are kind of flimsy. I had an issue with a couple of the pieces breaking as I was putting them together, and I did try to stay as careful as possible. So that's something if you get this expansion, you need to be careful with that. Just be very gentle with those field artillery models, the actual guns themselves. The models came off the sprues very simply, very easily, no problems there, but putting together the actual artillery weapon is what I'm talking about. As far as everything else is concerned, I think this adds a great level of simple complexity, and I know those two words don't really work well together, but I hope you understand what I'm talking about. It adds a little bit of complexity, but it does so in a very simple way, so that you're not overwhelmed by all the new stuff that gets added to the game. The 21 new scenarios, come on, that is awesome. I love it when that happens, and it just shows the level of commitment that Mr. Borg has to making these historical games that much more immersive. So all in all, I think this is a great expansion for the Great War. I enjoy the game. I enjoy the system anyway. And as I said before, if you want to learn how to play the game, you need to go watch that other review that I did for the base game called The Great War. All in all, this is a great expansion. I think if you own the base game and you enjoy it, this is probably a no-brainer to go ahead and go out and get it. So that's it for the Great War tank expansion. We'll see you guys on the flip side.